First, let us discuss today's current affairs. Yesterday, Transparency International released Corruption Perception Index. Transparency International, an international NGO, released Corruption Perception Index. Transparency International deals with corruption issues in the world. It will not take up individual corruption cases. It will not take any corruption complaints. Rather, it will, through its chapters, national chapters, it will collect systemic corruption levels and prepares an index called Corruption Perception Index. One of the prestigious indexes in the world. Transparency International provides Corruption Perception Index every year. India's ranking this year is 81st. India's ranking this year is 81st. And Transparency International also publishes Bribe Payers Index, which generally is not that important. But Corruption Perception Index released by Transparency International is very important. And this year India's ranking is 81 out of 180 countries. India is named as worst offenders in terms of graft and press freedom. India is named as worst offenders in terms of graft and press freedom in Asia Pacific region. The Corruption Perception Index uses a scale of 0 to 100. 0 is highly corrupt, 100 is very clean. 0 is highly corrupt, 100 is very clean. New Zealand and Denmark are considered as the least corrupted countries. New Zealand and Denmark are considered as the least corrupted countries. Syria, Sudan, Somalia are some of the worst corrupted countries. Syria, Sudan, Somalia are some of the worst in corruption. So India's ranking is 81 out of 180. Corruption Perception Index released by Transparency International. Next article, next important current affairs. YH Malegaon Committee has been constituted. RBI constituted YH Malegaon Committee to review about the issues relating to banking sector, particularly bad loans, rising the rise of bank frauds and effectiveness of audits. NPA problem, bad loan problem, bank frauds and effectiveness of audits. A committee was constituted called YH Malegaon Committee by the RBI. Because as you all know, bank frauds got increased, bad loans got increased. For all these reasons, a committee was constituted called Malegaon Committee. Next article, supercritical Bayton cycle, CO2 Bayton cycle has been developed. Supercritical CO2 Bayton, BAYTON, Bayton cycle has been developed. Indian scientists have developed a supercritical CO2 Bayton, BRAYTON, Bayton test. Supercritical CO2 Bayton, BRAYTON, Bayton test loop facility that would help to generate clean energy from future power plants. Clean energy. Supercritical CO2 Bayton cycle. Supercritical CO2 Bayton cycle will help to produce clean energy from power plants, including solar power plants, solar and thermal energy also. It was developed indigenously by Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. It was developed indigenously by Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore. This supercritical CO2 Baykan cycle is a part of Indo-US consortium. Is a part of Indo-US consortium. Solar Energy Research Institute for India and the US. Solar Energy Research Institute for India and the US. Next important current affairs. This is the issue from last 2-3 years, but not yet appeared in the previous paper. What is NISAR? NISAR. Every year from last 2 years this question is being expected, but is not appearing. What is NISAR? NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar. NASA means America. ISRO India. NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar. NISAR. And Khajuraho Dance Festival was started. 44th edition of Khajuraho Dance Festival begins by and organized by the Cultural Department of Government of Madhya Pradesh. Khajuraho Dance Festival. Khajuraho is the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Generally, any UNESCO World Heritage Site which is located in India, natural heritage or cultural heritage, is very important for exam. UNESCO World Heritage Site, whether natural or cultural, is very important for exam. Khajuraho is UNESCO World Heritage Site, built by Chandela ruler. Khajuraho is built by Chandela rulers between 900 to 1130 AD. Between 900 to 1130 AD. 2 years back, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Canada. Indian Prime Minister 2.5-3 years back, Narendra Modi visited Canada. In his visit, the Canadian Prime Minister at that time gifted a statue of Parrot Lady. Gifted a statue of Parrot Lady to our Prime Minister. Actually, this Parrot Lady statue was stolen from India, from Khajuraho. The statue belongs to Khajuraho. At that time, Khajuraho also came into news. You may get a question. The Parrot Lady statue, the lady on her head, there was a parrot statue, parrot figure. So this Parrot Lady statue belongs to which place of India? Khajuraho. This is also a question. Khajuraho Parrot Lady statue. And during this Khajuraho temples were built by Chandelas. Khajuraho temples were built by Chandelas. And this Khajuraho festival, dance festival, held in an open air auditorium, usually in the front of Chitragupta temple or the Vishwanatha temple. Chitragupta temple or the Vishwanatha temple. It will showcase Kathak, Kuchipudi, Bharatanatyam, Mohiniyattam, Manipuri, etc. Kathak, Kuchipudi, Bharatanatyam, Mohiniyattam, Manipuri, etc. Okay. Apart from that, if you see newspaper today, you have various issues. Justin Trudeau ordered probe about yesterday's embarrassment. Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, ordered a probe into invitation to Jaspal Akwal. Yesterday in news we have discussed that Khalistan movement activist and also the person who got involved in most of the anti-national activists, he was invited by the Canadian delegation to attend the invitation to Justin Trudeau, and Justin Trudeau now ordered a probe. Who invited and how he got invited. Okay, this is one thing. Second, US have tightened H-1B visas approval process, and this was a worrisome moment for India, particularly IT firms in India. US have tightened the H-1B visa processing, and this was a worrisome moment for India. And next important thing is today's editorial, virtue of reticence. Virtue of reticence. R-E-T-I-C-E-N-C-E. Reticence means restraint. Reticence means restraint. Generally, the armed forces, the chiefs of armed forces in India, generally the armed forces and the chiefs of armed forces in India, do not get involved into political statements. But Bipin Rawat, the army chief, commented about planned migration from Bangladesh to India. Planned migration from Bangladesh to India and how these migrations are happening, all those things. The editorial is expressing that professionalism, public trust, restraint, that is reticence, are the virtues of Indian Armed Forces. They will do their work in a professional way and never used to interfere or give political statements with respect to political issues. But unfortunately, our army chief have given that. That was the comment that was written in the article. Next important article, cannery in coal mine. Cannery in coal mine. As you all know, recently government allowed privatization, private sector participation in coal minings. Up to 1973, we used to have private sector participation in coal mining in India. In 1973, Indira Gandhi government nationalized the coal mining programs, coal mining processes in India. And after 45 years again, we are allowing private sector to participate in the coal mining, commercial coal mining process. Even today, you have to accept a fact. 70% of the Indian power is generated by coal mines, thermal power. 70% of the Indian power is generated by thermal power. And Coal India actually contributes 80% of this thermal issues. And you all know Singareni collieries, the biggest coal mining is in Telangana, Khammam district. So now we are allowing again coal mining by private sector, commercial mining purposes. Let us see how it is going to turn its stride. Next article is about adopting a wait and watch approach. Adopting a wait and watch approach. This article is related to India-Iran relations. Iran's President Hassan Rouhani's visit is a low-key affair this time. When last May, when PM Modi went to Iran, it has become a very big thing. Now when Hassan Rouhani is in India, it was not celebrated in a much bigger way. The reasons are two. Both the countries, India and Iran, are preoccupied with their own problems, with their own issues. Iran, you all know, after Trump's advent to the office, he was not in favor of extending the Iran's nuclear issues. Means there was a nuclear deal where Iran P5+1 deal is there, where Iran will shut down some of its nuclear activities and international community will stop its sanctions, will remove its sanctions on Iran. Now Trump is not in favor of this. So Iran has its own issue. And India is already preoccupied with the Quad, China's issues and SAARC, Pakistan issues, all those things. And in this perspective, as you all know, Iran, Hezbollah, how it is all doing. And now the question is here, two things. One, Chabahar port. Yes, India and Iran now agreed to contribute for Chabahar port. And India will get very good access to Chabahar port. That's a good thing. And second issue is, you have JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. JCPOA, which was signed between India and Iran in 2015, not yet fully operational. JCPOA, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, which was signed between India and Iran, is not fully operational. And Iran's role in Iraq, Iran's support to Hezbollah, all these issues are a cause of concern for America. Again, India is also worrying about Iran-China friendship. Chinese premier last year visited Iran and had very good deals with Iran. Again, a serious issue between India and Iran. And India and Iran are considered as all-weather friends earlier. We have very good cultural, civilizational ties. And even the food, the biryani is from Iran. And most of the rulers have come from Iran. We have very good relations with Iran. Let us re-establish our relationship with a very good momentum. This was the gist of the article. Next article is about grid stability is the key. Grid stability is the key. Continuous, seamless power supply to the rural India is a need of the hour. As you all know, we are trying to provide solar technology, solar energy to the areas, rural areas. In the recent budget in 2018, a new program was started called KUSUM, K-U-S-U-M. K-U-S-U-M, KUSUM. Kisan Urja Suraksha. Kisan Urja Suraksha, Evam Uttan Mahabhiyan. Kisan Urja Suraksha, Evam Uttan Mahabhiyan. This KUSUM is very important, and this program will help to set up more than 28 gigawatts. KUSUM program is helpful to set up more than 28 gigawatts of combined solar capacity through solar pumps. KUSUM is helpful to provide more than 28 gigawatt of solar power to combine solar capacity through solar pumps. So this is very important, KUSUM, you have to remember. And apart from that, transmission losses, distribution losses, all these things can be reduced with the proper grid stability. So grid stability is very important in electrification, particularly rural electrification, so that we can minimize transmission losses and distribution losses. These are the important issues. And apart from that, we have ground zero article with related to air pollution in India. Air pollution and India is a ground zero article. How air pollution is affecting Delhi particularly. All these things were things. Overall India and Delhi particularly. So let us start current affairs today.